Retired Command Summary as Internal for Medicine Consulting. Please share this video so we can help other service members. We are completely live. We are on Facebook and YouTube. We're gonna have an interesting topic tonight. Please share this video so we can help as many service members there. You can find me at etchingconsultation.com. If you need help with VA disability claims, this video is for you. This information is not sponsored or paid by any government entity or the government. This is for educational purpose. Also taking phone calls at the end of this live. If you want to call, you can call at 321-710-5570. Just let me know that you're going to call me and I will get ready to receive your call. We're going to have a short video, so please share this video as many service members as you can. Share it everywhere. We are live on my Facebook and also my YouTube channel at Etching Consultation. Okay, so we're going to talk tonight on how to win your VA disability claim for knee pain. Okay, so if you have any knee pain, you have any pain or condition in your knee and you serve in the military, this video is for you. Did you injure yourself while in the military? Do you think you have a condition because of a knee injury while in the service? This video is specifically for you. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about how to win this disability claim, how to work it, and what do you need to actually to win it. This video is for all service members, but in specific, I want to talk for those combat arms specialties. That's how we call it in the Army. I know I'm talking to all the service members out there, but in special for paratroopers, infantry, artillery, also known as combat arms in the Army, and also for all those heavy specialty jobs and all branches that have a high level of physical fitness requirement. Okay, now this is for anyone that also had an injury while serving in the military and you can prove it. The only reason I'm saying that I'm concentrating for combat arms and for those that had a heavy duty specialty is because you're gonna find out what do you need to actually to win your claim for knee pain. Okay, you might ask yourself, what do I bring this up? Because many service members have the correct nexus and evidence of an injury but lack a diagnosis. So I'm going to break it down, the knee pain disability, and I will break it all the way down also for those that serve in the Reserve and National Guard, because there's a difference that you must understand, and I'm going to cover that tonight. If you send me some messages in YouTube, please bear with me because I think I'm having an issue, but I will edit the video and I'll get back to you if you send me any messages. Okay, what is a knee condition? Before we start, it's defined as knee pain or joint pain based on multiple factors such as instability. Remember this word, instability, reduced range of motion, movement, and knee replacement. Some background facts about knee injuries in the military or in the service. Knee-related conditions rated under the 38 CFR 4.71a. Knee conditions are common in the military due to exposure to many times harsh environment conditions. A knee pain VA claim can be awarded based on these factors. Number one, service connection via direct connection, where the knee condition is directly caused by the service. A good example is an accident while in the service, and I will give you a good example later during this video today. Number two, secondary service connection, where the condition was caused or aggravated by another service-connected disability. Number three, aggravation of the condition based on a pre-existing condition. A good example is, just to give you an example, if you injure yourself or have knee pain while conducting a run in the military, your daily duties also may qualify, and through time you start developing pain and aggravation that could lead to a permanent condition. The VA condition could be rated from the pain from the knee could be rated from 0 to 100 based on the type of knee condition. This is based on the severity of the diagnosis, range of motion, and pain. Three things that you must pay attention: diagnosis, range, and pain. Common limitations for the rating are based on a couple of factors. I will cover that, but I want to go to a PowerPoint so you see what I'm talking about here, okay? You can put comments, you can ask any questions as you wish. I'm here to answer your questions. So we're going to cover some of the conditions, or this is some of the common conditions, okay? I'm just going to cover some of them. You can see them projected, but I will cover just some of them. Common knee conditions are: number one, limitation of flexion of the knee based on range of motion, and you could get 0 to 30%. Another one is the limitation of extension based on range of motion. You can also get from 0 to 50% in this condition. Immobility, I talked to you about an important word, immobility. To remember that word, and you can get from 30% to 60%. Instability, also a big word that you must remember. If you go to a CMP exam, remember that word, use it. Instability, that you're unstable because of your posture. When you walk, you have problems with your knees. I will cover that more in depth later, but I'm just emphasizing the importance for you to remember these words: instability, immobility. And for this one, for instability, which is motion side to side, you can get from 0% to 30%. The less you can move or bend your knee, the higher your BA rate will be. And I'll go over here to another slide here, and this is what they use to measure your movement of the knee. Really important for you to understand how it works when you actually go to your CMP exam. Knee injuries are very common in the service, in the military, due to lifting heavy equipment. Here we go again. So if the movement, they're gonna do a range of motion test, okay? And they're gonna measure how you can flex your leg and what is the mobility. Remember those words that I talked about. It's really important for you to get prepared for that CMP exam because this is what they're gonna use. Knee injuries, like I said, are common in the military due to lifting heavy equipment, carrying heavy equipment, and demanding activities. Understand that if you get a diagnosis for your knee, it can be based on different categories to include arthritis, gout, bursitis, which I did mention those on the slide, and probably one of the most important, as I stated before, is knee instability. Under the diagnostic code 5257, that diagnostic code refers to recurrent of lateral instability, and ratings are available for severe 30%, moderate 20%, and slight 10%. Now, we know that we need these three important things before submitting a claim. This is basic. You need a diagnosis, you need a nexus, and you need a medical opinion or nexus letter, right? This is the link, or if you can talk to a doctor to do the nexus. I'm going to walk you through to a prime example of somebody that I'm helping right now at this moment, and I will emphasize the importance of evidence like I always do. And I'm going to go to another slide here so you can understand by the numbers what I'm talking about, okay? And I will cover it down so you can understand, all right? Just bear with me for a second. The service member that I'm helping has knee problems. Remember that I talked about that I want to talk specific for some combat arm MOSs or duty specialties. In this particular scenario, this person that I'm helping, he was a paratrooper. He was on urban status. Those are the ones that have to jump or are in an urban unit. For those military folks out there that you've been to urban school, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This service member has knee problems And the aggravating factor that I talked about is based on the job specialty. Now, what did we find on his record? And you're probably not gonna get this from a lot of people that are doing videos out there because they don't have a lot of experience. They probably have 4 years and they got out and they know how to work the VA system, and I'm okay with that. But I'm talking about 29 years working with the government, retired command sergeant major with 25 years, so I know how to find the evidence. That's the reason that I said that it's a must for you to request your medical records. Prime example, this service member, we found on his record, I edited, of course, his name and all that stuff, that he had a jump and he actually injured himself. And he says it here clear as water. 23-year-old knee pain on the left knee, plus 3 days, landed on his rucksack during a jump. This is the event of the injury. It doesn't get more clear than this, okay? You keep going here, and the doctor is also putting his notes, and he says, he talks about the left knee again, diffusion minimal edema, and also talks about the range of motion. Now, pay attention to this. It says full range of motion, and you know these doctors, sometimes they write a little funny, but this one is pretty clear, okay? And it says full range of motion, but it does not mean that the service member had an injury while in service. This is the reason that I said that evidence is the most, or one of the most important things to submit a claim. You have all these big hitters out there with 30,000 subscribers. I barely have 400 subscribers, but I am telling you, this is the evidence that you need, okay? Of course, if you don't have this, doesn't mean you can apply for disability for knee pain. It just means that it's going to be a little bit harder for you because you're going to need body letters, nexus letters, sworn statements. You're going to need a nexus letter from a doctor, okay? Because it's going to be hard for you to prove the nexus. You might get the diagnosis that you have a condition, but how do you link it to the service? And this is how you do it with evidence. It's clear. This is a prime example on how to do it, okay, and what to do so you can win your VA claim. It's in there in black and white. It had the diagnosis. It happened and initiated on a jump. He hurt his knee, and now he has problem with his knees, okay? The aggravated factor, like I talked before, is being on urban status. You have to talk about experience. I was a paratrooper for 10 years. You have to jump every 3 months, and you sometimes jump more than that. You have to do a lot of road marches or rock marches, and sometimes it's 12 miles that you have to qualify. And I think is back in the days when I was in Fort Bragg, I think it was once a year, and the constant running is running all the time. So this is the aggravating factor, okay? So this is pretty clear. I just wanted to bring that up so you understand exactly what I'm talking about and how important it is, the evidence, okay? Now, remember that I always emphasize evidence, and that's the reason I bring these prime examples so you can understand. Because we can prove here the nexus to the service, and all we need is the diagnosis with medical opinion. The same example can be used for National Guard and Reserve, but this is the caveat for National Guard and Reserve service members. Again, if you are live, please send me a thumbs up. I know this stays on my channel. I edit this once I'm done, but I know a lot of people probably gonna get a lot of comments once this is done and once it's on YouTube. But there's a big difference from active component and National Guard and service members from the National Guard and Reserve. This is the reason I bring this up. It has to do with the proper medical documentation. And if you need proper medical documentation, if you are or you were on the Army Reserve or any service reserve or National Guard, you need medical documentation to make it easier for you. And that is done what is called a duty or line of duty initiation, LOD. I do have a video which I will post. The LOD process, what it is a statement of medical examination and duty status, DF Form 2173, LOD. initiated for soldiers that sustain certain injuries, diseases, or illness while on active duty or even die. But of course, I'm helping you to win your VA claim so you're still alive. I hope so. For those heavy duty specialties, you may have a higher possibility to get your claim approved due to the aggravating factor like I just explained. And instead of claiming one knee, you can probably claim both knees. Okay? Again, just as an example about the paratroopers on jump status, light infantry, or any heavy duty job that entitles heavy lifting, exposure in the field. It doesn't have to be. You can also hurt your knees while working in an office environment. I just want to make sure of the aggravating factor, okay, that you can prove it like I just did from a paratrooper. It is more common for these jobs to have knee injuries or back injuries because they're more exposed to the environment. Let's briefly talk about what to expect on the compensation and patient exam, also known as CMP. On the CMP, you can expect a series of questions, physical examination, and a range of motion test, like I showed you in the slide prior. The key is to tell them to stop when you feel the pain, okay? Hey Chief, man, thanks for tuning in, my friend. So they're gonna measure your knee movement, range of motion. So one of the keys is to tell them that it hurts and stop when it hurts. Most of you guys out there, just like me, hardcore, you don't want to show any symptoms. But if you have any knee conditions, you need to start documenting it now while in service, because that's how you link the nexus. So they're gonna do a couple of tests. They're gonna measure your knee range of motion, and you can also get 2 disabilities for the same knee, okay? For example, you can get a disability for range of motion, and also you can get a disability for the same knee for instability. I talked about instability so you can understand these keywords that you must tell when you're doing the CMP exam. Instability, mobility, range of motion, how far you can move your leg up and down, how far you can stretch it. All those factors will take effect on your CMP exam. And to close, you could also file a claim as a secondary condition from your knee pain. You need to understand that you can also claim a secondary condition from your knee pain. A secondary service-connected condition is one that resulted from a separate condition that is already service-connected. For example, pain in your lower back or back due to pain in your knees. What happens when you have instability? You're not stable, you have pain on one knee, so you're supporting your body with your other side. You start creating more injuries to your bodies, on part of your bodies, including your lower back, your cervical, the whole body just start deteriorating because of the condition. For example, pain in your back, like I told you, lower back, due to the pain, and also in your back completely. Or another example is a veteran that is service connected for knee condition and later develops arthritis in the knee. The veteran's arthritis may warrant a second service connection if it is a result of the service connected knee condition. Service connection aggravation. What is the factor that aggravates the condition? VA will compensate veterans for medical conditions that existed at the time of entry into service and were made worse or aggravated by service. According to 38 CFR 3.306, a pre-existing injury or disease will be considered to have been aggravated by active military, naval, or air service where there is an increase in disability during such service unless there's a specific finding that the increase in disability is due to a natural progress of the disease. A prime example is a service member on jump status. I just gave you that example, or some kind of specialty jobs. And I gave you a prime example on how prove the evidence that you actually had an injury. Remember that a good strategy starts with gaining knowledge. And the only way you're gonna gain knowledge is educating yourself. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel, Etching Space Consultation. Hit that bell so I can send more content and you can help me actually to grow more, and so I can help other service members.